Right. Well, I had kind of a revelation when I was at my brother's house from, because we'd been talking, Chelsea came with me to visit my brother's house, and we were talking about the stuff that we had planned going on, like that Chelsea was going to come with me on this work trip, or was going to come visit me on this work trip that I was going on to Pittsburgh, and then I was going to go to Alabama to see Chelsea's family and place of birth.
So it's pretty gay.
Which sounds
so,
really coupley.
It really felt, I started to realize that my brother and his sister really thought that we were a couple, and I kind of chose not to clarify our relationship for them in this really weird moment, because I just kind of thought that they could understand our friendship. They wouldn't understand our friendship as easily as they could understand us as dating, even though we're not in a sexual relationship at all. And so I was kind of like, I think that our friendship is really gay. Like, I think
Yeah.
I think it's like, so anyways, that prompted the whole thing. Was like, what is this that we're doing?
Gay friendship?
Yeah.
Except that I think
Queers.
But
being friends with queers.
we need to define the word queer
Right.
first, because
Do it.
my training has made me feel that this is necessary, and to say that it's not, it doesn't necessarily mean homosexual
right.
as much as it does. In fact, I think what defines the relationship is the absence of the sex. So it's not necessarily gay, you know. It's queer in a non-normative way.
But is this a problem with like queer friendships, or is this about friendships in general? Because like we have history of like rulers and subjects and lovers, but we don't have histories of friendships. Like, you know, like history, like what we know of our world is not based on friendships. It's based on sexual relationships and production and like. So I'm wondering if this is like just a larger question too, like.
I don't know. I mean, something that I thought about with it is like, I mean, I guess what Chelsea was saying about it being not a sexual friendship is really, or not about sex is really important, because I think that by queer, I don't think that it's just queer people that experience this. I think that it's something that a whole like range of
Right.
people experience, and that it's just that the fear of homophobia, I think, is what kind of
Yeah.
prevents people from
Yeah.
developing these friendships. I think it's more about like the role.
Straight people confirm or deny.
Well, I also think that
Sorry. Sorry.
there's also a level of intimacy that you have within that friendship that also crosses borders that you might have with other friends. And that might be the fact that you were going to go see where Chelsea grew up. And that's a level of intimacy that you might not have with a coworker.
Right.
I don't think that queer
Yeah.
friendship necessarily precludes sex.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think
No, I
that,
think so too.
that sex can be involved, but it wouldn't. I mean, but at the same time, the relationship just doesn't fall into this category of couplehood.
Relationship.
You know,
Yeah.
like serious. We are combining this, you know, our whatever resources or time or whatever it is that makes it more orthodox.
It seems like the orthodoxy thing is important, because there are times when this is your committed relationship, but you might have a more developed relationship with someone else.
Birthdays.
I've had
Yeah.
friends who've lasted longer than any relationship.
Of course, but that's what I'm saying. is
And I've
that-
had breakups with friends that have been way harder than
Oh,
breakups
yeah,
with
totally.
partners.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's where you get that word game of like, this is my family, with friends and things where you call
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the fact that
Right.
my family, when they
I know.
Chosen family. And that's something that comes
Yeah.
out of like an LGBT context too, is like that friends are seen as chosen family because biological family
yeah.
may not be there, may not
Right.
be present for any of that. So.
Right. Well, and the thing is too is that your friends, like, that it kills me whenever I go home, and of course I have lovely parents and they love
Yeah.
me and I love you guys. But you know, when I come home, they see me in a certain way. They see me as who I was until I was 18. Whereas I feel like my friends see me in like who I
Now.
more I am, more who I
Now,
am
present.
than even they really do.
Yeah. Yeah, I did make the conscious choice not to
Yeah.
bring that
And I
up.
think that's so interesting because like that's like totally moving against, in some ways, this drive to tell your parents like or someone
Right.
else like, no, what Chelsea and I are
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
and
You don't
that's
think we're
what
closeting
we,
ourselves?
you know, no. I just
I mean,
think
I
I think you're
felt- I
willfully
felt bad.
being.
I
I think
felt
you're
bad
willfully
about it.
being. You know.
That's what brought this up, was that like I felt this like weird like feeling when I left, when I was like, that was wrong of me. Like I should have clarified, but why didn't I? Because I think that the answer is not. It doesn't
I'm
clarify.
looking for another queer friend. So if you want to
Right.
be my queer friends, you can
GJM.
call 512-218-982.